So wine goes in here. As I was saying earlier, one time Nona was making sauce for something, and the only thing she had left over was spumante, which is like a dessert wine. So in it went. So it doesn't matter if you're you should always cook with wine that you like to drink. So if you're serving the rest of the meal with red wine, then make sauce with red wine. If you are doing a chicken dish and you are serving it with white, then use white. Use whatever you have. Just make sure that it's wine that you would drink and not cooking wine. Cooking wine tends to be too salty, and you want to control that. All right. Most important thing when you're cooking with wine is to make sure that the alcohol burns off. If you were to add the wine and then add the rest of the ingredients in real quick, what would happen is you would still taste the alcohol later in the dish. What you want to do is kind of cook that wine off. And the only way I know that it's normally done is if you smell it. When you smell it, if you get a real strong alcohol smell, that means it hasn't cooked long enough. But this is actually good. So we're going to let that simmer. Let's open tomatoes. I usually use Italian canned tomatoes. I just like them. These are whole and they are peeled. And let me just open that can up real quick. I just got these at the grocery store. These are not fancy. Any grocery store carries tomatoes. I like Italian canned tomatoes. If you can get San Marzano, they're actually great. They're sweet and they just have a better flavor. I don't ever let that sauce go to waste. A little bit of water, and kind of rinse out the can, and that goes in. Great. Next, take your hand. Can you hear the onions? Anyway, take your hand and you're going to crush the whole tomatoes with your hand. Now, you can do this in a bowl. It's actually easier and you won't squirt yourself as much. I think I just squirted. Anyway, sometimes I put it in, just put the whole can of tomatoes into the pan that I'm cooking with and do this with my hand in the pan. You don't actually burn yourself if you do it fast enough, but this way it's just a little easier. So, that's it. You just want to kind of loosely chop them up. Here we go, and that's it. So, this is one can of tomatoes. I'm going to put that in. So that goes in. Again, this little residual stuff, I'll do a little chicken stock. There's no sense in letting all that go to waste. Italian grandmothers waste nothing. So that goes in. Wash my hand real quick. Let's stir this. We're going to mix this together. Now this is when, if I was making pasta with the sauce, I would actually turn on the pasta water. I would turn it on now. It usually takes about 20 minutes for water to boil for me, and so the sauce needs to cook for about 20 minutes. I would turn the water to boil on now. That way the sauce can be cooking while the water is going. Pasta usually takes another 10 minutes, and so it'll take about a half hour to make the whole sauce. Let me add one more thing. We need to add strained tomatoes to this dish, and this is kind of tomatoes that have been canned but put through a food processor and through a food mill and had the seeds and skin removed. This is a little more sauce, and you want to add about a cup of this. That's a cup. So that goes in there. Okay, so here's your sauce. Salt. Couple good pinches. You want to make sure that it's flavored. You'll also cook the pasta in salted water. Some pepper. I don't never measure pepper. I always just crank until I think it looks right. If I want it spicier, I'll add more later. Stir that in and not splash all over yourself. Usually if I make pasta, I wear a white shirt, so I end up having it all over me, and today I got lucky and thought ahead and wore a gray shirt, so you won't get sauce. Splatters all over my shirt. Okay, once it starts to come up to a boil, it's kind of bubbling, I'm going to turn it on low. And that's going to simmer now for 20 minutes. That's pasta sauce. How easy was that? They're gonna once the pasta cooks, you'll cook it al dente, which is kind of to the tooth. It means to the bite, so there's a little bit of it's not real loose. And you'll take the pasta, drain it in there, stir it up, some grated cheese, some basil, a little olive oil, and your pasta's done. Thanks everybody. That's sauce. You can check the website for the book at www.beyondthepasta.com. I got the cover art. The book's coming out soon. Check out the website. Thanks everyone. Ciao, ciao.